So we're clear on a couple of things. We don't get to make our kinks other people's problems, spiritually, physically, or otherwise. And that's where this whole thread, if you are on the Clock app, you can follow this back and look at the whole thread, comes from. It is perfectly acceptable to have a kink of never turning your husband down. It is honestly, like, if that is your guys' spicy time deal, I support that. I am one of the only Christian sex educators that I know about that actually supports kink. I have an entire Patreon devoted to teaching spicy, kinky things because there's nowhere else on the internet you can go and get Christian kink education. But you don't get to tell other people that it's biblical to never say no to sex because that's your kink with your husband. Because that's not the case. If you look at the history of the do not deprive verse, it was written to a people who were using chastity as a form of worship. That is not never saying no. That is not, I'm tired, let's try again another day. That is not, you have not invested in the relationship enough to make me want to have sex with you. That is using chastity as a form of worship, is what the Bible was actually talking about in the do not deprive verse. The number one rule of kink is to not make the vanillas uncomfortable. No one else is consenting to be a part of your kink experience. So they don't have to have the same kinky desires as you enjoy with your husband. If you want to talk about why you enjoy it, I support that, but you don't get to call it biblical. And part of the problem is this verse has been weaponized against women for ages and eons and continues to be weaponized against women. And so when you try to make your kink into a biblical truth, it harms other women because men are going to see your comments and say things like, why can't you be more like her? She never says no to her husband. Healthy women in safe marriages don't turn down good sex for no reason. If she is uninterested, there is a reason that she is uninterested, but never saying no is not going to fix the reason that she is uninterested. God never calls us to violate our own boundaries on the altar of someone else's sexual desires. Stop scaring the vanillas and keep your kinks tucked in and don't make them someone else's issue.